Deuces Wild Bitches!
EB, my bud, because of your technical prowess in greater BFE Truckee, all right, I had to start the stream tonight. And last week, I was in no man's land, Mississippi, and I was able to hook up. What is going on in greater Truckee, California?
I don't know if it's Truckee or just this specific computer. So we can't start the stream until a half hour before the show. The stream was scheduled for 6 p.m. Pacific time. And for whatever reason, my clock says 5:20 p.m. So right now it's 6:13 p.m. Pacific time, but on my computer, it's only 5:20. So obviously the No Filter Network stream is reading off of that, but who gives a shit? You're turning into a fucking technical wizard, man.
We're here. So Linda even came on there and said something about the t-shirts. You're always wearing something cool. This is actually, believe it or not, bitch better have my cookies. And it's from a guy by the name of Todd Krieger. He actually works for the Fresno Grizzlies. And making a line of t-shirts, sent me one or two, and told him I'd have some on the old Deuces Wild. So another shout out to somebody sending us some free stuff. Very nicely done, Todd.
And Todd, let's make sure we get that to both co-hosts. That's how we roll here.
Yeah, we got to do that from now on. Todd, you got to send two out. One a 2X and one a schmedium.
Medium's perfect these days.
Medium.
Hey, so Thrill, let's get right into our title sponsor here tonight. Bet Online, the number one online gambling destination. Bet Online has got your latest news, scores, odds, predictions, everything you need at Bet Online. Over 150 slot games. For all of you degenerates, they have online poker, blackjack, I imagine, whatever the fuck you want. It is the number one spot to go ahead and lay your action. Now, we want you to bet responsibly. I wouldn't recommend putting your house down on, say, the Dodgers winning the World Series next year, although it might not be a terrible bet. But I would tell you, set aside a little bit of fun money. Go ahead and say, hey, this is my stash. I'm going to play with it. It's entertainment. And head on over there. Bet Online. The game starts here.
And especially, as we, getting ready to ease up on the first of the year, if you want to bet, you can always reach on out yonder and, I know there's all kinds of different fans that are in the chat room, but I mean, if you want to bet on, let's say the Orioles, one of our former teams, if you bet with the Orioles, well, then you can figure out if they're going to be World Series champions next year. You might be able to make, I don't know, $1,250 for a $100 bet. Who knows? Whatever it might be.
Probably. You know what's funny? You probably drilled that. I bet the O's are going to go into next season about 12-1, maybe 15-1. Thrill.
But then if they do that, they would need to sign that Santander back. I can tell you that. We talked about him last week.
We did talk about Santander, 44 home runs last season. This right here is the new No Filter Network Mascota, and that is the name of the tequila. I mean, look at this fucking
Mascota. Hola, Piero.
So this is actually a tequila bottle. I have no idea how it opens up. I assume the head comes off. This was an anniversary present from my lovely wife, Thrill, and we celebrated 17 years the other night, and she came home with this mascota, and now it's a no cabeza mascota.
All right, you gotta take a little swig because we got Tommy Luke in here, and he's a freaking tequila fanatic.
I would just like to raise one up right now to my lovely wife of 17 years who puts up with all of my shit. Is fantastic with smell-o-vision on a nightly basis here at the Byrnes household. Wonderful mother, wonderful wife, and this headless tequila. I don't know. I'm going to give it a swig, but we raise it up and we salute Miss Tara.
Salud. Nice job of doing the wifey thing. Way to get it all taken care of. You did great.
Dude, it's fucking fantastic. I'm not kidding you.
All right. Well,
Like,
there
it's
you
really,
go.
really
Tommy Luke, you and Rob Bullock got to get on a bottle of that stuff then.
You know what? You know who needs to get on it? We'll have Leslie get on it because Mascota will become the new title sponsor of No Filter Network and Deuces Wild.
There you go, Leslie. Jump on it. We need a few bottles for the co-hosts here.
Hey, so Thrill, I mean, a lot of debate.
Wait. Before you get off of the Mascota, since you're talking about a Piero, that's where I was yesterday, was picking up a new dog, and I just so happen to have a picture for you guys.
Okay, but where the fuck's the dog, man?
The dog is not allowed in the office right now. By the way, this is Doc. He's 18 months old. He's a beast. He listens to his daddy, but he has decided here the first day in the household of living in a house for the first time in his life, I'm going to mark the whole place up. And my wife and I have been picking up pee all day long. So he's not allowed in the Thrills office right now until he irons his shit out a little bit.
So you know I have 5 bulldogs, and I have one of them that's 12 years old. His name's Cruiser. And he lives on the couch. He gets off the couch. He gets on like all fours and it's like, woo, woo, woo. And then we let him off the couch. He goes outside. He takes a piss, maybe a dump, whatever. He comes back inside and he makes a trail. I think he's blind. We know he's dead, but we think he's blind now. So he makes a trail and he basically marks his way all the way back to the couch, where he then jumps on and sleeps for the next 15 hours and gets up and does the whole shit over again.
Yeah, no, I get it. And, you know, everybody in the chat room's already fired up there, you know, the pet pads and the puppy pads and all that. Looks like a freaking minefield in the house right now. And every time he goes, he misses it by that far. I'm like, you bastard, go on the pad, you know?
They don't it's bullshit. We've tried everything. We have.
He's 18 months old. He's never been inside a house. He's lived in a kennel his whole life because that's, you know, where they train these dogs down here and all that. And, so now he's being shown a little love and he's loving life, but he needs to figure out his aim, needs to be a little bit better.
You know what you do? It's like, and I still do it with Cruiser, our 12-year-old. I'll take his face, I'll shove it in the piss, and then I fucking throw him outside.
There you go.
Because he can't hear or see, I kind of get it in his face. I want to make him feel it. Like, no. Outside. Party outside.
Oh, man.
I'm not going to give up. Like, it's a lot of people will say, hey, he's 12. You can't teach an old dog to do tricks. Again, he was never this bad when he was younger.
Yeah.
So I think what he's doing is literally like he's marking his territory and it helps him find his way around the house. But I'm going to continue to fight for it. And try to teach them. So
hey, did it get cold there?
Here?
Yeah.
Cold?
Yeah.
It's cold as shit. Yeah. I mean, it's like 50 now. Well, excuse me. It warmed up to 50 today, which is the first day we saw above, 50 in a long time. But no, we got about a foot of snow. I think we got like 18 inches up top. I was just picking the decks right now, because what's happening when it warms up to 50, all the fucking snow's melting.
Yeah,
It drip. It freezes overnight. Now I got a goddamn ice skating rink surrounding the house.
I got you. We when some of the guys were there, when Big Mike was there and Josh, it actually got nice and cool at the ranch. I mean, it was highs in the 50s, lows in the 30s. It was comfortable, and then. We're easing back up today. I want to say it was back in the like mid 60s, 70s. So I'd like it to get cool again. It was fun when we were hunting with a jacket on.
I love it. Okay, so I'm lying in bed the other night, and I get a text message at about 2 in the morning. It might have been midnight my time, but it was 2 in the morning your time. And it was an article that just came out.
It was just come out.
The new golden rule proposed by Rob Manfred. And I had read the article probably like right before I went to bed. It was laughing and thinking to myself, oh, I can't wait till fucking Thrill sees this thing. And sure enough, in the middle of the night, there it was. The Golden Rule article, the Golden Rule proposal from Rob Manfred. Thrill, your thoughts?
Your thoughts. I knew you were headed to me on that. Good Lord Almighty. As soon as I saw it, and I forget who sent it to me, but it was, it's one of those things where your phone dings and you don't really realize it. And then all of a sudden, you get up, you go to the bathroom, you look down at your phone, you go, no fucking way. And so that's when I texted it to you. It was like butt crack in the morning. And the first thing I'm doing is I'm just shaking my head. And then the next thing I do is, somebody's playing it. I mean, this has to be stupid. I'm like, really? Question mark, 85 question marks. And you go, yeah, it's serious. And I'm like, no freaking way. So, I mean, all right, let's look at it from a common sense standpoint. And let's look at it from a fucked up Rob Manfred standpoint. The common sense standpoint is this game's been this for 170 years. Why are you screwing with it? That's first off. Second off, let's say you say, all right, I want to have Juan Soto come up in this situation. Well, maybe the guy that he's hitting for is having a pretty damn good day, and you might want to just let him hit. And, instead, I don't even know where he's thinking. I don't even pretend to know where he's thinking. All I know is he just keeps fucking with the game, and he needs to stay the fuck out of it.
Okay, let's just start here. Let's explain the rule for a second. Basically, what Manfred is proposing is a golden batter. And the golden batter would be at any point in the game. It sounds like it would be one spot. The manager could go ahead and pick whatever hitter that is in his lineup or out of his lineup to come up to bat and hit in that situation. Ideally, it's going to be the most high leverage situation. Now, so look, dude, I managed the Savannah Bananas. I was the director of chaos there. We literally came up with this fucking rule. We
and that's where I guarantee you he got it from is somebody's going, hey, dude, these bananas are selling out everywhere, and they this and they that and they this and they that. And he goes, well, let's implement one of their rules. I guarantee you that's where he got it from. Dumbass.
And you know what? It was funny because Kruko came out the other day, and my initial reaction to the rule was very much what you would think. I'm like, this is fucking brilliant. Now, I got to tell you.
Because you're that's why.
Thrill, I'm a progressive. I like change. I like new rules. I like entertainment. I am a softie when it comes to the sport of baseball. I do think back and I reflect upon my childhood and going to the stick and watching you play. And literally, like the 80s baseball was my heyday. Specifically like 85 to 94. That's when I was the biggest baseball fan ever. And I loved the game the way it was. I then had an opportunity to play in college at UCLA and then play professional baseball for a long time. And as you go through it, you're like, okay, again, I love the game, the purity of it, everything else. I then got into media, and I was in media for 11 years. And as I watched, I took on a little bit of a different perspective because I'm like, man, I want to be fucking entertained. And so there's certain elements of the game where it would be slow. And so that's why I think I was at MLB Network for so long, 10 years, because the way we watched baseball was different. We would watch the hottest moments in the hottest games. Does that make sense? So we're flashing from here. Giants, Dodgers out west, opening pitch. Bam, Yankees, Red Sox in the East, bases loaded, bottom of the ninth, and we're calling this shit. And it was fucking amazing. And so the whole concept then after that, after MLB Network, I went and worked with the Savannah Bananas. And the Bananas obviously is a whole different thing, but they always taught us to be progressive in our thought process. Like, how could we make the game better? And if you think about baseball, look, in basketball, if the game's on the fucking line, the star player is going to have the ball in his hand. In football, game on the line, you know who the quarterback is, you know the receiver he's looking for. Slam dunk. Hockey, who are we getting the puck to, right? In baseball, you'll have a 1 in 9 chance of that motherfucker coming to the dish. 1 in 9, and that's it. So we got lucky when Juan Soto came to the dish. We got lucky when Freddie Freeman came to the dish. We got lucky when Kirk Gibson was available to come to the dish in that moment to give us these iconic historical feats. But that said, I understand where you guys are coming from. I understand the fucking old school, like, why would you ever fuck with this thing? This isn't a circus. It's baseball. I get it. I really do. And there's a lot of people really passionate about this, Thrill.
I guarantee there's a lot of people that are passionate about it, including the one that you're looking at through your screen right now, because, the way that you got to look at it from a hitter standpoint is, all right, that's my teammate right there. He is trying to do the same thing that I'm trying to do. And just because of some screwed up rule, I'm going to take at-bats away from him for me? It's like, no, that's part of team element. That is what makes a freaking great team, is the fact that the middle of the order guys, top of the order guys, contribute just as much as the bottom of the order guys. And, to basically, and this puts the freaking manager in a position too, to say, hey, look, I don't think you can do the job. I'm going to let him hit. Hey, guess what? You don't think I can do the job? Well, then why the fuck did I start this game then, asshole? I mean, that's one way to look at it, And then here's another thing. If I am on a team and somebody is scuffling, I'm not going to say, hey, let me take the at-bat away from you. I'm going to go over there. I'm going to be patting him on the back. Come on, big boy. Come on, big boy. Let's go. Let's go. You can do this. You do this. You help the team out. Keep going. Let's go. And then here's another thing, all right? Nobody ever thinks of shit this way, especially dumbass commissioners, all right? If you are in the middle of the lineup and you get 4 at-bats, guess where you're coming up? In the 7th, 8th, and 9th with the shit on the line. So guess what? You have your opportunity to do your job.
Okay. Turn back the clock.
Whoa. Let's back this one up. How about the fact that, all right, let's just pick somebody. Pick Ohtani, pick Soto, pick Judge, pick whoever you want to pick, right? Okay, we got, Bob, and Bob has been playing every day or 150 games, let's say, and he's got 400 at bats. Here comes Judge, and he's got 600 because he's been hitting in another 162 games because he's picked once a game. Like,
yeah,
come on, man.
Yeah. So that person certainly is going to get an extra at bat. I wonder how that would affect maybe historical numbers, right? Because if it's Ohtani, if you're the Dodgers, I imagine Ohtani's going to be the guy that you're going to send up to the plate in the big time situation. The one that I come back to is if this rule were in effect and you had game 1 of the World Series in which Mookie Betts was at the plate with runners at second and third. A left-handed pitcher was on the mound. They walk Mookie Betts to then throw to Freddie Freeman, left-on-left matchup. If they had not used the golden rule by that point, manager Dave Roberts, would have he pinch hit Mookie Betts for Freddie Freeman? Because they just walked Mookie Betts. But then Dave Roberts says, fuck you. And he puts a pinch runner in for Mookie Betts. He takes Mookie Betts, he puts him back up to the plate, and history changed.
Yeah, I get it.
The grand slam probably doesn't happen.
Right. No, you're right. I get it. Totally
That's an argument for you guys. That's an argument for your camp, certainly. An argument against your camp is this. It's 1989. The bases are loaded in the World Series. Let's just, for fuck's sakes, say Robbie Thompson is up at the dish facing a pretty nasty right-handed pitcher for the San Francisco Giants. Or excuse me, for the Oakland A's. And all of a sudden, I am Roger Craig. And I say, time! And I grab you, who is in the on-deck circle, and I say, Robbie's not hitting here, Will is. And now you come up in that moment, in that opportunity to be the fucking hero. All the pressure lies on you. And hey, as far as like Robbie, he's going to understand, dude. He gets it. He's not fucking dumb.
Hey, the biggest at bat in that inning was Robbie Thompson walking. Because then it forced the pitching change. So, that's what, the strategy in baseball, that's part of it. And, when you had the pitchers hitting, you had to do the double switches and you had to get guys off the bench. And that was one of the parts of the beauty of being in the National League was if you were a bench player in the National League back in the 80s and 90s and stuff like that, you were ready to go all game long because you never knew if there's a double switch and then I might be in the game, might not be in the game, whatever. So you were ready to go. Now, with the DH all the time, dude, your bench players, they can just sit there and for the best part of the game, just pick their nose because they ain't getting in the game. You got 9 guys out there that are hitting away. So, that's where, the game's changed. There's so many freaking pansy rules that are in this game now, got to go into second base, can't go out of the line, you can't make contact, the catcher has to not block the bag and then come over here and, let's make the first base bigger. And oh, by the way, we make first base bigger, but you can't put your foot in front of the base because that's obstruction. And there's so many pansy-fied rules in baseball now. This is just another one. And to go to the point that you were trying to make, which is Savannah Bananas, all right? Very entertaining brand of baseball. You and I talked about it. You were there damn near every day. All right, I got a chance to see it with Trey and all that. It's independent ball guys, all right? It's low minor leaguers who got released. So these guys are trying to make a comeback, not as necessarily baseball players, but more as freaking dancers and entertainers. That's why these guys got their social media platforms to the upper end. That's where they're making their cash from, whereas a baseball player wants to do baseball and baseball alone.
Yeah, but Thrill, I mean, they're selling out every game. They're selling out every
I get it. And I guarantee you that's where the fucked up rules coming from and something like that. I get it. But at the same time, if you put the fucking product you're supposed to put out on the field, guess what? The fans will come.
Agree. And they always do in the postseason. So that's my big argument is this. The Savannah Bananas are great. Again, it's still, my heart will always be with the organization. Incredible experience by time working with them. And they're really entertaining and they're really cool to watch. But I will also tell you that come October, they take a fucking back seat to everything because now the fucking competition begins. The tournament starts. And MLB is 1,000x more entertaining than the fucking Savannah Bananas. And this is somebody who worked with them, right?
No, I get it.
But here's my problem. And I'm serious about this. The issue is that we go through 162 games, and I'm not sure one of them is more entertaining than what the Bananas do. Once you get to the postseason, fuck yeah, man. But before that, it just doesn't have that fire and the luster. And another thing, we have a problem with superstars in our sport. We just don't really have a ton of, even Juan Soto. Other than Ohtani, he's going to sign the second largest contract in the history of MLB. Ohtani is a superstar. Certainly, MLB has one. It's Shohei fucking Ohtani. After that, even if you go to Mike Trout, not a superstar. He's just not. I love him. Great baseball player, not a superstar. Freddie Freeman, great baseball player, good guy, not a superstar. Mookie Betts, great guy, great baseball player, not a superstar. You have one fucking superstar in the game of baseball. And one of the reasons why is that superstar doesn't get the opportunity to win a game each and every single night. They don't. So this is giving them that opportunity. Look, man. Your wheels are turning a little bit. I know they are. They're fucking.
Guess what?
You would have been that guy. I would not have been that guy.
They were going against you right now.
They were going to you.
Guess who's even against you right now? Your freaking wife. It's your anniversary. She's going, hey, doofus ass, do you know how many 8 and 9 hole hitters for LTP won freaking ball games this year? And it's the truth. It is the truth. Yeah, you want to have an Ohtani up or a Judge up or whoever. But there's going to be a lot of games. A lot of games.
Mark up.
There's going to be a lot of games where somebody in the other part of the lineup is going to win the game. That's just the way baseball has been. And Manfred hasn't freaking figured this one out. He's pissing off the baseball gods. And you piss off the baseball gods, they're going to fucking get even with you.
Now you're talking. Now you got a point. I do agree with that a little bit. Because you can't manufacture.
You'll be walking down the street, fall off the curb, break your fucking ankle, and baseball gods got your ass, Jack.
Yeah. You got to find, like, and that's the thing about when you say fuck with the baseball gods. If you pinch hit Mookie Betts and you brought him back up to hit, you don't get the Freddie Freeman moment.
Yep.
You don't. And look, I'm willing to listen to everybody. Obviously, I have as much respect for you, for Mike Krukow, Brian Murphy, for KMBR this morning. I talked to him for a long time, and he's with you guys. I get it. I'm on an island of fucking one. I'm apparently an island of two is being the.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing about you. All right. After doing this for so many years with you, I know what you're doing. You just fucking stirring the pot. You deep down inside know that me, your wife, everybody in the chat room's right, but you got to fucking go to that other side and stir the pot. Stir the pot.
Okay, this is
and by the way, while we're stirring the pot, okay, you just rattled off a few names. Not a superstar, not a superstar. I'll take them motherfuckers. They're a superstar on my team. I can promise you that.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, I agree with you.
Hey, look, seriously, and seriously, between me and you, and well, shit, everybody in the chat room, and I know this is going to get TikToked at no end. Look, man, there's a reason that in this game you have, let's say, 4 at-bats. You can, and you've seen it, everybody in the chat room seen it, you can absolutely suck up the place for 3 freaking at-bats. And that 4th at-bat, it takes one swing. One freaking swing. It doesn't matter whether you're a superstar or the 9-hole hitter. That one swing makes the game. And,
I agree.
And let's flip it around. All right? We can even do the same thing with the pitchers. Why are you singling out the hitters when this is a pitching-dominated game and always has been?
But you put a pitcher in
make some room about the pitchers coming in. You know,
that's a problem.
That's why it's narrow-sighted.
But we could put a pitcher in. Other than if he was a starter, you can't bring him back in.
That's what I'm saying.
You put a pitcher in the highest level situation. Called the closer.
Yeah, you can make this stupid rule. Let's do this. Let's have Randy Johnson go out there. All right, when he's with Seattle and they're freaking dealing. They're dealing, right? Okay. And Seattle comes out and scores a freaking 8 spot in a second, and Lou Piniella goes, you know what? I'm going to take Johnson out. I'm going to save him, for, down the road a little bit. So he takes Johnson out. The other team battles back. Well, now if I can stick Johnson back in, you can't do that no more.
I would.
I know.
I'd allow that.
That's what I'm saying. If you got the golden bat rule, you ought to have the golden pitch rule.
They should. Well, now you're fucking making sense, dude.
Now
you're hopping into my camp. That's exactly what you do. Why?
But I'm giving you examples as to why this is bullshit.
It's not okay. I will tell. I'm going to ask you this question, and I need your honest answer. Don't fuck with me here. And we're going to go hypothetical situation. We'll just go back to the Giants days. We'll call it 1993. We'll say you're playing in that game against the Dodgers in Dodger Stadium to go to the playoffs, 103 win team. This game was just as important as the World Series game, any World Series game that you got to play in.
Yeah.
And it's the top of the 9th inning. The bases are loaded. And here comes, I don't know. Was Mike Aldretti on that team? He wasn't on that team, was he?
No, he wasn't on that team.
Okay, give me a guy on the team. Salman Torres' spot comes up in the lineup.
Right.
And the bases are juiced. And you guys know this is a good example. Salman Torres' spot comes up in the lineup 1993 in the one game, not the one game playoff, but the game. Right. And you could have been pushed up to hit in that spot in that critical moment to get you guys back into that game. Would you want that at bat?
Without a shadow of a doubt, I would want that at bat, but I couldn't do it because that's not where I hit in the lineup. But that's exactly what I was telling you earlier. This is a team concept. This is not a single individual. Everybody on each team knows that Mookie Betts and Chapman and Mookie Betts and Ohtani and Freeman, they know that they're the best players. And everybody else complements that core. All right? They know that Judge and Soto were the best guys on that team, and everybody complements that core. But Judge can't drive in 100 and whatever, and Ohtani can't drive in 100 and whatever until that other group gets on for him. And so that was part of being not only a player, not only an upper echelon player, but being a team. Because guess what? You were like, hey, I'm doing my job here, right? And I'm pushing the pace. Let's go. Come on. Jump on the train. You get on this train, and this train's going to freaking go down the hill, and they ain't stopping us. And that's what the game has changed a little bit in regards of, middle of the game, like 100 pence. That's a perfect example. Middle of the game back in the 80s and 90s, man, we're coming up and down the bench going, come on, boys. Let's go. Get on. Come on, we're not out of this. Let's go. Now, you don't ever hear that shit. You don't ever hear that on the bench right now.
Why?
Games change.
Yeah, but is it the guys? Like, what's the issue? There's no juice. You're juiceful. You're useful. You're juiceless. You're fucking useless.
They had more, more. And I don't know if it has to do with TV coverage or what, but we had more guys that were, in your face type of guys all the time. And that was just the way it was. And that's how some people got motivated, was you had to be in my face. And, I'd tell Matt Williams, I'd tell Robbie Thompson, hey, look, if I'm dragging ass today, come jump my ass. Get me in gear, that kind of shit. But that's part of being a teammate.
All right, so I appreciate the team. I appreciate the 9 guys. I do understand that you're only as good as your weakest link, and that's what I love about coaching baseball, whether I was coaching the Bananas, whether I'm coaching LTP, which...
But here's the thing. And Tara even brought it up. You are going to coach the 7, 8, 9 guys at LTP like you coach the 1, 2, 3 guys, because they're as important to your team winning as the top of the order guys. And so you might even coach them up more.
And I will. And I take more pride when those guys have success. But if you tell me, and look, dude, I put together a team that is fucking loaded, top to bottom. I could flip my lineup on its head. That's why we're a top national team. But if you tell me in one moment, in one situation, the bases are juiced and the game is on the line, who do you want up to bat? It's Frank the fucking Tank.
Frank the Tank. That's a great name, by the way, for a 12.
Oh, it's fantastic.
12-year-old Frank the Tank. Nice job, Tara. Way to get him on line with that one.
It's so good.
Hey,
look, we can debate about this.
Here's the thing. You and I talk about it, because, not only you, but everybody in the chat room knows my personality. Would I want to be in that situation every night? You bet your fucking ass I do. I like it when those freaking bright lights are on. When the bright lights are on, that's when I want the bat in my hands. I don't want the bat in my hands when there's nobody on, 2 outs, nobody on, 1 out. I want the bat in my hands when there's, second and third, first and second, whatever it is, and the tie and run stand out there. That's when I want to play. And there's a lot of guys that are like that. There's a lot of guys that aren't like that. But for 150 years, we followed the same rules. Why are we changing this rule?
Right? Or why
Here's another one for you. All right.
Or why are we following?
Exactly. Or here's one for you. All right. For 150 years, you kept playing until somebody won. Now you get into extra innings. You put a man on second base. Well, if you want to be consistent, why aren't we doing that in the playoffs in the World Series then as well? Why do you change the rules back to what it was 150 years ago?
Yeah, because you're willing to give it more time to play out. You don't care. Yeah, I understand why
they want the fucking revenue if the fucking game goes into extra innings because it's playoff and they're charging more for the commercials. We're not stupid, Rob. We know.
All right, so for 150 years, we followed the rules of the game where there's 9 guys that hit and there's not that one moment in one time. I will say this. The one moment in one time is different than at any point I could grab my best hitter and put him up. So there's still the team element. So it's only going to happen once a game. And I'd venture to say there's some games where it doesn't even happen because somebody's going to hold on to that golden at bat. Let's just say you fall behind, right? And you're behind big. You're behind, 8-0 after the second inning, and the game plays out. It's a 10-2 final. You would never use the golden at bat. Never. Why would you? I want my lower guys getting reps and getting their at bats, and ideally that's going to help them succeed down the road. I will say this. Like you, Thrill, you were a fucking superstar. You were the guy for probably 90% of your career that they would have sent up as that golden batter. I was a guy that probably for about 10% of my career would have been the guy that they said, Byrnesy, you're our golden batter. So that said, I would have been happy to give up my bat the 90% of my career where I wasn't that guy to the guy that was that guy. But I also would have fucking taken the bat with a smile on my face and a fuck you in my heart if I was that guy that was the golden batter and said, let's fucking go.
I got it. Hey, look,
bro,
we can discuss this. We can discuss this all night long. All right, and everybody's going to have a difference of opinion, but what it's boiling down to is just you don't have a great ball game and keep changing the rules. You don't have umpires and try to implement electronic strike zones and stuff like that. You're going to piss off the umpires union. They're going to strike, and then you're going to be screwed. And so this is like a big family, and these kind of rules are starting to break up the family. And it's really coming from one guy, and one guy was the owner's attorney during the strike in 94 and 95 and all that. Don't you think there's a little conflict of interest when the commissioner of baseball used to be the owner's attorney? Okay. Don't you think it was a little bit of conflict of interest when the commissioner of baseball used to be one of the owners of Major League Baseball? So this racket has been going on for a while. It's time to split this shit up.
Okay. This is going to be our first game of start, bench, cut tonight.
Oh, here we go. Oh, by the way, before we get to the start, bench, cut, just happened to look over real quick. Let's give a little tip of the cap and a big attaboy to Brandon Crawford. 14 years in big leagues, and most of them with the Giants. World champion. Decided to go down the right path, do the retirement deal, and I hope the Giants bring him back and show him some love.
This is a dude that was one of the best shortstops to ever play the game. I mean, if you look at
by far,
he was that good. Now, he was a low average guy. He did have a year, and it wasn't that long ago. I think it was 2021.
Yeah.
Where he finished 4th in the MVP. I couldn't fucking believe that, man, because he obviously still has some good baseball left in him. But you kind of get to that point where and I know that you're, kind of mid-30s, and if it's not happening and you don't have this great opportunity, you're like, fuck it, I'll move on and do something else.
Yeah. And, they do it all the time because they did it, they did it with Sergio and they did it with some of the other guys. Sign him back for a day, let him go out on the field, give him, the old tip of the cap, everybody stand up and walk off into the sunset as a Giant. He deserves it.
My wife is so vocal in here tonight. She says she hates the added run. Look, I cannot disagree with her more. I would load the bases up in extra innings. I don't think they do enough.
Tara, it's your anniversary, but I do give you permission to slug him. Fucking slug him. Just drop a right cross on him.
Honey, before you slug me, remember I opened the show with a toast.
Yeah. You open a show. You open a show because you're thinking about it a little later tonight, and you're like, ooh, and then you start freaking going downhill. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, she's like you guys. I don't know why she's so against me on this.
Because she spent time as Friar Tuck. She came up when the game was the game. Come on, doofus.
Mascota.
Mascota. Along with Piero.
Yeah, that's a perro. And that perro's pissing all over your house right now.
I know he is.
Nothing you can do about it, buddy.
Freaking pads and paper towels and everything else.
Okay, let's do this. You ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
This is the first game.
All right. So this is the bench cut. What now?
Start, bench, cut.
Okay.
Bigger bases, automated strike zone, the golden batter.
Oh, Jesus Christ, you fucking idiot. Jesus. Oh, man. I'm going to keep the bigger bases because it's still a fucking base. All right?
Okay. You're starting the bigger bases.
All right. And then we have the golden ticket and what else?
The golden batter and the automated strike zone. You got to bench one and cut one.
All right. Automated strike zone, even though I'm against it, I'll keep it because, at least we'll figure something out with the umpires. But the golden batter ticket, Jobby, see you the fuck later.
Oh, man. Good thing I'm not commissioner, dude. I'd be wearing it
Oh,
for you, like at all times.
yeah,
I
no.
would have you on my staff, though. You know that, right? You'd be my
I can
chief.
tell you one thing. I can tell you one thing. I mean, I don't know. I don't know where his advisory council is coming from. Every one of them motherfuckers ought to be wearing a flak jacket.
I don't know, man. I would. What he needs to do, is call me, and then he'll get even more
Here we
extreme
go.
than he fucking already has.
Here we go.
And I'm serious about this. You know what I would do, Thrill, if I were commissioner? If I were commissioner tomorrow, and by the way, yes, to all the MLB owners, I will accept the job. I will step down from my position here. No Filter Network. Never mind. I would not do that. I would have to be able to continue Deuces Wild, but I would take the commissioner job. And if I were commissioner job, my chief of staff is you. And the reason being is that when I want to fucking come up with this crazy, awesome new rule, I need you to keep me in check.
I'd be like, "Are you insane? What are you talking about?" Hey,
Well,
look,
then we go play some
look,
pickleball or go kill some animals and fucking talk it over or shoot it over or
yeah,
fucking.
no, I get. Look, I get it. I mean, there every now and then there needs to be a little tweak here and a tweak there, but when you take just a gorgeous game, I mean a gorgeous game, and you just pansyfy the shit out of it, dude. Sorry, that's not how I was born and raised. Even Big Mike said it before with I said it in my speech, the participation trophies and all that. No, let's reward somebody for coming in third. Fuck that. And when you take a man's game where you had to suck it up, for 9 innings and 162 games, and then tack on 40 in spring training, however many you made in the playoffs, and you just make it just the shit game kind of that it is as far as the rules go now, you deserve somebody to come up and right cross your ass upside your head.
Okay, I have a question for you.
Yes.
You're the commissioner of baseball for a day.
For a day.
And you get to change one rule. What rule are you going to change or implement?
You are going to be like kind of blown away with this one. But for one day, both leagues, I'm doing away with designated hitter. I'm implementing pitchers have to hit and you back to double switches again.
Oh, fuck. Why?
Why? Fucking you got everybody going to get ready for the game instead of people sitting there like this. Oh, I ain't getting in this one.
I don't need to see a pitcher coming to hit.
Dude. Oh, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. It was gorgeous. It was gorgeous because there were some guys that were just straight outs, and there were some guys you're like, oh shit, this guy can hit a little bit.
There were very few guys that could hit a little bit.
All right. Well, let's
were there. But
what rule would you change, Mr. Commissioner, for a day?
Commissioner for the day, it's very simple. I'd implement the automated strike zone. That first and foremost, until that's done, every other rule gets put to the side. It's. I don't want them to get it wrong. Like, why are we still getting it wrong when we could get it fucking right? Where's the common sense?
I wouldn't even. That wouldn't even cross my mind because in our era we had to move around the batter's box because of who the umpire was and how much further he could call it out there, inside or whatever it was. So that right there was part of the game within the game back then. Now to make it to where some computer's going, nope, that's not. No, yep. That kind of fuck that.
Okay,
where is the human element in the game now if you let everything be, controlled by a computer? We already talked about it. We got enough fucking stat nerds in here as it is. Now we're gonna have fucking strike zone nerds who are computers? Fuck that.
Okay. My argument would be the human element of the game has been and always will be the players. I don't need it to be the fucking umpires. Like that, I don't need them fucking shit up on a nightly basis just cause, or favoring guys just cause, or calling balls and strikes against some guy just cuss.
Dude,
I mean, your Angel Hernandez story, that thing went fucking viral, man.
I know it did.
That went viral because it solidified what everyone already knew. That
But
they
that's the way the game. Hey, dude, that's the way the game was back in the day. Fuck. Come on, man. When you played in that era, that's what you had to deal with. The guys who played in the 70s, the guys who played in the 60s, they had different sets of rules that they had to abide by. So that's the way it was coming up. And now everything is getting so much more freaking streamlined, and there's no more human element in it. And we have to get everything absolutely perfectly correct. That's bullshit. In no other sport is anything absolutely perfectly correct. That's bullshit.
Tennis?
You hit it
They don't
in,
fuck,
you hit it
they don't
out.
fuck up calls
You hit it
anymore.
in, you hit it out. You hit it in, you hit it out.
They don't fuck. Like, think about the drama in tennis back then. And the argument is that everybody loves seeing John McEnroe throw a temper tantrum. Now, that said, what's great is that McEnroe's playing pickleball now, and he's still throwing fucking temper tantrums, even with the automated line calls. But, look, I understand what you're saying. I like the human element, but so long as the games are played, it's always going to be the human element. There's always going to be success and failure and everything else. I just don't need it to be with the fucking officiating. I just don't.
Here's another one for you. All right. Here's another one for you. And Brett just came on there and made a comment, and it just hit me when Brett said it. You kind of can't implement a rule unless the Players Association agrees to it. So if you're thinking about it, you still got to run it by the Players Association to implement it. So, hey, there's another one for you. Tony Clark, you're the head of the Players Association. You and I are friends. Don't let this bullshit happen. There you go, my friend.
I don't think Tony would. And let me tell you why. The reason why this would never pass through the Players Association is because this is going to take at-bats away from other guys.
That's exactly right.
And push the star player even more in the spotlight, but take away from that mid-level guy who would be getting his at-bat. So you're right, Thrill.
And guess what?
You fucking nailed it, man.
And guess what?
The Players Association would never agree to this.
And guess what else, too? All right, now this is a completely different era. If you went back to my era or the era right before me, you get an at-bat taken away from you that you've busted your ass to get to be in the spot of the game, and it's given to somebody else and he doesn't succeed. Dude, that might have been a little freaking all-out brouhaha in the clubhouse that day. All right? I'm just telling you that right now. So, this is as much about the team concept as it is about I need one individual to hit.
Brett's on here. He says the commissioner needs to get some golden balls and wake the fuck up.
That's where I got that thing I just told you from. He reminded me about it. It's like, shit, that would make it. Ooh.
Battleboard Mike says if he's commissioner for a day, he would reinstate Pete Rose.
Oh, awesome call there, buddy. And, if you had any balls whatsoever, you'd have done it while he was living. All right? Being as he freaking made a record that nobody's ever going to break.
Look, we have a lot of activity here at No Filter Network. And
I tell you what, I got to tell you this right now. Between this week, last week, and whenever we did the show before that, the last 3 times, dude, the chat room has been firing. So you guys keep that shit up. It's awesome. And I love it, Tara, when you freaking bash your husband. I love it.
No, that's bullshit, man. I can't believe
she's calling you out. When you're wrong, she's calling you fucking out, dude.
It's hard for me to think that we have that many people, that listen to the pod, that watch the show, that are in the chat room. And it's really tough for me to believe that nobody is on my side. It's tough because I don't think that's the case. I think there are people.
Somebody that's on your side. His name's Rob Manfred, because he wouldn't have brought it up to anybody and wouldn't have stirred this shit up like it.
So you want to know a little secret?
Hey, let him. I'll tell you what. Here's one for you. Fucking go talk to him and let him be the commissioner of the Savannah Bananas, and we'll get a new fucking commissioner in. How about that one for you? Let's do that.
If you were to appoint a new commissioner of baseball, who would it be?
Shit, we've never had a player be the commissioner. Let's put a player in that spot. Since we've had two conflict of interest, the last two commissioners, put a player in there. Let's see what the other side has to think.
Buster Posey?
Ooh, there's a good call.
I could sign off on that.
Yeah. Tara even said a good one right there. Bruce Bochy. He covers all the bases. He's old school.
Dave Winfield?
That's a good call. I like Winnie. I like Winnie a lot.
He works hand in hand with Tony Clark.
Yeah.
He's in on a lot of shit and what goes on with the Players Association.
Yeah. You know, we also had one of the guys who used to be a left-hand pitcher with Detroit was Mike Myers. He was one of the first sidearm and lefties, and he's now doing some stuff. Well, he's been doing some stuff with MLB, but I've run into him a few times here lately, and he and Pat Burrell and I were talking because they took one of our analytical dudes and they turned him a coach.
What?
They turned him a coach in order to give him more salary because, if we made the playoffs or something like that, he would get a share because he was termed a coach instead of just giving him a raise in his salary. So, Pat Burrell and I were talking to Mike about it and go, hey, the dude's not on the field. He's not in the dugout. How can he be termed a coach?
Because they feel like he has a certain impact on the game. And if he's mandatory, you know what the shares were this year? It was like $440,000. It was a record high that went out. And
every year it's gone up because of the TV package.
Well, it's gone up because the fucking Yankees and the Dodgers this year certainly had a lot to do with that. But this is a situation where I was looking at it, and it was fun because I went through all 12 teams that made the playoffs. And even the ones that lose the first round, you still get some sort of share. But it goes up. And so let's just say loser first round back in the day, I know because we lost in the first round plenty of times. It was like 30 grand. And then if you were able to get past the first round to the NLCS or ALCS and you lost there, it went up to about 90 grand. And then you went to the World Series, the loser usually got a couple $100,000 with the winner at like 300-ish, right? Maybe it was 150 and 300, whatever that was. And now those numbers have escalated all the way to like 440. But the thing I was really interested in was how many shares each team gave out. And the Dodgers were actually one of the most generous teams when it came to giving out shares. I think they gave out like 79 shares or something like that. Is Will frozen or is it just me? Or is it me that's frozen? Regardless, let's get this chat rolling. Yeah. Will's frozen, right? Okay, thank you, honey. I am not frozen. All right, let's get to this. I very rarely do we ever sit here and go through one topic for an entire evening. But I did write a Daily Hustle email on this. I sent it out this evening, which is unprecedented. I'm not sure I've ever sent a Daily Hustle out in the evening. But this is what I sent out. And I'll share this with you. I was going to put it on earlier, and I did not, or I was going to read it to Will earlier. I didn't think we needed it. There was so much dialect and conversation to be had on the topic. But because of Will's frozen status right now at this point, let's roll with this. The Daily Hustle quote of the day. Change is the law of life, and those who look only to the past or present are certain to miss the future. John F. Kennedy. Daily Hustle translation. The commissioner of baseball recently brought up a potential rule change that would allow a team to choose any batter on their roster to hit at any moment of the game. The golden batter rule would be put into place in an effort to highlight the team's best hitter in the most high leverage spot. Harsh ridicule of the rule has come strong and swiftly from baseball purists, which is understandable considering the current state of the game that has already implemented the DH in both leagues, increased the size of the bases, banned the infield shifts, set a reliever minimum batter rule, implemented a pitch clock, and this spring training will experiment with the automated strike zone. Many people, including loyal Daily Hustler and KMBR host Brian Murphy, are asking, why in the world would the commissioner bring this new rule up when nobody was asking for it? Well, Murph, sometimes in life, we are introduced to something we never knew we wanted, and it immediately becomes our new favorite thing. Kind of like ice cream. I thought I would have been perfectly happy with chocolate my entire life. But once I got a taste of peanut butter and chocolate, ice cream became a metaphysical experience. I don't even know what the fuck that means. I just like the word metaphysical. While with the Savannah Bananas, we would try 5 new things a night. Some of them were amazing and became standard staples in the show, while others were a complete and total fucking disaster, never to be tried again. One of the rules we had was during an extra inning showdown. Are you back?
I am back. What did you do me?
I didn't do anything. It's your internet and fucking.
Don't even start with me. It's your internet.
No, it's not me.
Froze up on me, you jackass.
All right, hey, I'm finishing an email right now.
Hey,
okay?
Look, you guys need to figure out how to fuck to run internet up under the snow. All right, I'm tired of this bullshit.
It's not me, dude. I promise you. Okay, so I'm in the midst of this daily hustle I sent out. Right, it's a email it's a blog I do every day, and I'm getting towards the end of it. I started reading it when you froze. So I said one of the rules we had was during an extra, and I'm talking about my experience with the Bananas. So I'll start the paragraph over. While with the Savannah Bananas, we would try 5 new things a night. Some of them were amazing, became standard staples of the show, while others were a complete and total fucking disaster, never to be tried again. One of the rules we had during the extra inning showdown as a manager, I got to pick 3 batters that would come to the plate regardless of where they were hitting in the order or if it was their turn at bat. With a game on the line, we got to get our biggest stars, hottest hitters, and greatest showmen to the dish in front of the crowd. And just about every other sport, whenever the game is in jeopardy, the biggest superstars assuredly have the ball in their hands. In MLB, there's a mere 1 in 9 chance the best guys get to come to the plate in the most crucial situation. The ultimate question is, why would we not take luck out of it and allow the dude to come up when the manager feels the game truly is at the pinnacle moment? Well, let's answer that. Like my parents made me do with any big decision in my life, I listed the pros and cons. The pros: gets the best player up in the biggest spot. It increases superstar awareness. It increases offensive production. It allows for more strategic decisions. Number 5, it increases the overall entertainment value. The cons: it breaks tradition, it pisses off the purists, and it potentially, and this is the best one, takes away an underdog succeeding in a very big spot. Judging on the above list, as well as my Savannah Banana experience, I'm going to vote wholeheartedly in favor of the golden batter rule and look forward to seeing it put to test. Look, baseball has been and always will be a beautiful game. I do understand that while all change is eventually necessary, not all change is good. That said, as JFK suggests, change is the law of life. And if we get stuck in the past and present, we will most certainly miss the future. EB. P.S. Click pick below for IG post and blue link to spend an evening bullshitting with me and Will, who of course is vehemently against the golden batter rule. So that was the email that just went out right before the show.
There you go. Vehemently against.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of a fucking understatement at this point, right?
Yeah. Yep.
What else we got going, man?
What else do we have going? Nothing really. I mean, believe it or not, just kind of life is normal. I told you before, I've been watching so much bad baseball over the course of the year, and I wanted to get away from it for a little bit. So I've been doing that, and yeah, had a great Thanksgiving up at the ranch. All the guys are up there. Big Mike was up there. Josh, Tommy, Luke. We had a lot of fun up there, laughing and giggling, cutting up. Tommy Luke took a cruise to Italy, where his wife started posting pictures of him with a man purse. And so he had a man purse presented to him in a gag gift ceremony. So
We
yeah,
like
so
to
that was
refer to
one of
those as that's a merce.
it was a merce, and then some of the pictures he had to go along with it. Put it this way: I had them made into 8x10s, and they were pretty much adorned throughout the whole hunting ranch. And Tommy got a little taste of his own medicine.
You guys like to fuck around a lot there, huh?
Oh, quite a bit, quite a bit. It's, I mean, it's like being in the clubhouse. You got the same guys, and you got the guys that are the instigators, and you got the guys that are being picked on all the time, and it's on and on and on.
Interesting, man. I mean, it's that alligator head that was brought out last week.
Yeah, yeah,
And there's a bullet hole in the fucking like you'd see it.
right there. And I mean, the processor gives me the option of you know keeping the alligator heads, or him disposing of them. When I picked up the meat, he had two of them there. He said, "You want the heads?" And I'm like, "Oh, hell yeah!" So I presented one to Josh, and then I presented one to one of the guys from Reno, and laughed and giggled, cut up. So
I certainly would take an alligator head.
oh, it was interesting. It was interesting.
Bro,
And then,
when you coming out west again?
when am I coming out west? That's a great call. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe end of February. Excuse me, end
I
of
mean, you got
January.
spring training that you're coming out.
Yeah, no,
right?
end of January. I mean, I might have to come out that way for some stuff with the Giants. But other than that, nah, just hanging around, enjoying hunting season, and keep my fingers crossed. It gets cold. Like I said, I was enjoying the cold weather.
Thrill, your thoughts on Blake Snell signing with the Dodgers moments after we got off the air last
Yeah,
week?
yeah. I mean, legitimately. I mean, I woke up the next day, my phone was blowing up about Snell. So, hey, look, they gave him a big contract. Probably at this point of his career, he's looking like we talked about before about getting into the World Series and stuff like that, and he's got a pretty good shot at it over there. And that's what he's thinking. So, but it's another one of those things. You got to stay healthy, dude.
It was kind of a no-brainer, though, when I talked to him and I had a long conversation. This wasn't like a 2-minute, yo, man, what's up, this and that. It was the two of us watching a baseball game, sitting there like shoulder to shoulder for 30
Yeah,
minutes at
yeah,
least. And when he got into the fact, he's like, Burnsy, dude, I just want to fucking win, man. He goes,
I
I
get it.
had so much confidence in myself, my ability, and what I'm going to do that I want to surround myself with a winning baseball team. And I told him, and at the time, it was like during the World Series, I go, bro, I said, there's really only two spots to go, and both those teams are in the World Series. I said, and really, if that's, you want me to take it a step further, there's only fucking one spot to go. Because the confidence I have in the Dodgers winning over the next 10 years as opposed to the Yankees is astronomically higher.
Well,
And
I mean, to be totally honest, I mean, just the way the game works, you got to stay healthy. But then when you are healthy, you got to produce. And I mean, for me personally, he's one of those kind of guys that you know he's always got phenomenal stuff. So you never have to worry about that with him. His big thing is getting out the gate quick. He's a notorious slow starter, and then after the All Star break, he freaking lights it up. So we'll see what it brings. But now that he's against one of our opposition teams again, Blake, love you to death, but now we got to find a way to kick your ass.
of course. All right, let's take a look at the Giants rotation without Snell. You have Logan Webb. You have Robbie Ray. You have Jordan Hicks. You have Kyle Harrison. You have Hayden Birdsong, and you have Landon Roop.
Yep.
It's not terrible.
No, it's not terrible. And on top of that, you got other guys that got a little shot this year, a guy like Mason Black, something like that. So you have some depth in there. And, you hope that, your studs, your Robbie Ray, your Logan Webbs, your Jordan Hicks, they're going to do their thing. And then you hope that the young guys learn from their experiences last year and get better. Did you say Tristan Beck too?
I don't even think I brought up Beck. I'm just looking at
he's coming off of surgery, so now he's got something he needs to prove. So we got some depth as far as the starting pitchers go, but now you got to go out on the mound and execute.
All right, Thrill. Well, Tara said supper is on, y'all. Good night. That was about 10 minutes ago, so I know it's about that time. Anything else you want to get into before we sign this one off? This has been an entertaining one.
You know what? It has been an entertaining one. My big thing is quit messing with the game. It's one of the best games in the world. It's not only is it an execution type of game, but it's a thinking man's game. And, if you start taking more and more and more parts out of it, it's not going to have the same luster it had back in the day.
I agree with you, but I would also tell you, as a 10-year-old kid going out to Candlestick Park to watch you come up in Jose Uribe's spot with the bases loaded would have been fucking magical.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, it's the truth, man. It's the fucking truth.
You do know that whole freaking inning started with Candy Maldonado pinch hitting for the pitcher. So there you go. That's why I said freaking bring up the pitchers hitting again.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're saying about pitchers. I like the strategy of it, especially as a manager, like as someone who's managed a game before, right? Like, and I, coaching these youth games and everything. Like, I love the strategy of moving guys in and out and trying to, have your best defense out there and your best offense and put guys in position to succeed. So I totally get it. At the same time, I just don't need to see I don't need to see Don Robinson hit. Yeah. I know he's great too.
Well, here's
right?
the thing.
Wasn't that one of the guys that fucking killed it?
Okay, watch this. Watch this other side of the coin. I go from San Fran to Texas, and I'd legitimately have 2 or 3 guys every month would come up to me and go, "Hey, Thrill, can you go talk to the manager for me? I haven't had a at bat in 3 weeks. You guys that starting 9 have been on a roll, and I haven't had an at bat. I feel like I'm not even part of the team and stuff like that. Whereas I had come from San Francisco, where we double switching and we're doing something every night, and damn near you look up and you got utility guys in San Francisco got 150, 170 at bats. You turn around in Texas, they had 40. So
I agree with you. I was a bench player in the American League before I played every day with the A's.
There you go. Well, you know how it is.
And then I was a starter in the National League, and the rare days off that I had, I fucking loved them because they weren't really days off. I had to stay attentive and know that there's a good chance I was going to get into this game.
Yep.
Sweet, man. All right, are we good to go next week? And good luck.
Next week is what date?
I don't even know. It's 7 days from now would be the 11th.
Yeah, so that'd be the 11th. Yeah, I should be good. Well, no, it'd be the day before. It'd be the 10th.
We're really good with calendar.
Yeah, because today's Wednesday. So we're talking about next Tuesday. I should be good to go.
I love it. Well, fuck yeah. Let's run this thing back, man. I'm sure there will be some more news to talk about. Soto hasn't signed yet.
Yeah.
Corbin Byrnes hasn't signed yet. I'm holding a little hope there. They talked about Sasaki potentially with the Giants. It sounds like there's no fucking way that's going to happen. The Giants have the smallest amount of money. Their pool money. It's just I guess they don't have a lot in their international pool. But there's certainly a lot of top-end free agents out there, Willy Adames being one of them. I think everyone's just kind of waiting for Soto to sign. The Toronto Blue Jays apparently have a shot at getting him. Do you think that's real? I don't.
Put it this way: if the Blue Jays get him, it's because he's just wanting all the money and he doesn't care about winning.
It's truth.
So
yeah, my Battlemore Mike says no fucking chance. I say no fucking chance. Greg Amsinger from MLB Network, who, ironically, I cannot end the show without saying this. Greg Amsinger brought up this golden batter rule way back in the 10 years ago. He fucking brought this shit up. And I chucked it up with it. I thought it was hilarious, but I'm like, no fucking way. I said all the same stuff. But the best point that Greg made is the best point for supporting this was this is how you get your superstars more involved. And I think the ultimately really why this would never happen is the players union. You can't take at bats away from other guys, and that's what's going to happen. And collectively, the players would never support it.
And I'll tell you what, I told you. You take at bats and people start getting pissed off, and you're constantly taking at bats from me. We're gonna go to war. Hey, before we get out of here, I'm gonna give. Trey brought this one up to me at lunch, so I will give everybody in the chat room 10 seconds. All right, ready? Here is the baseball quiz. So y'all jump on here and get the answer. Name the first player to hit 50 home runs but strike out fewer than 50 times in a season. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the unbelievable Giant Hall of Famer, Johnny Mize. And oh yeah.
I thought for sure it was going to be
fun. Yeah, he hit 51 homers and struck out 42 times in 47. Then he followed it up the next year with hitting 40 homers, and he struck out just 37 times. And oh, by the way, in 47 when he did it, he led the league in runs scored and RBIs, otherwise known as MVP Hall of Fame.
Hold on, dude. I mean, I gotta look into this guy. Johnny Mize, born January 7th, 1913. He died June 2nd, 1993. Demarest, Georgia. He went to Piedmont University. His career WAR is 70. I mean, he's got to be a Hall of Famer, no?
Oh, he's a freaking locked Hall of Famer. But his nickname, believe it or not, was like Andres Galarraga. It was a big cat, and he was 6'2", 215. And the reason I know all of that stuff is because he was a Giant. And so knew the history of the game and who came before me and all that good stuff. But I forgot about it until Trey reminded me. So, Trey, you got the quiz today. Nice job, bud.
Yeah, dude. So in 1948, though, he had 40 home runs. This is 1948. And struck out 37 times.
Yeah. So
in 1947, 51 homers, 42 strike. Like, this is insane.
Unbelievable.
Like, this is some of the wildest shit that I've ever seen.
Yep.
His career OPS was 959.
How about that one for you? 959.
Bro, like, I don't even...
Dude, that's what's known as a stud of a stud.
We don't celebrate Johnny Mize enough.
No, hell no.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
I mean, he played 15 years. So maybe that's why. He didn't play, the 20-something odd years.
Yeah, but he
really racked up.
Dude, he had 15 years, and he hit over 500 homers. He struck out only 524 times in his whole career.
He had 2,000 hits. Did you know he had 500 homers? I had no idea he had 500 homers.
I didn't know that. And that's what gave him the lock on, being a Hall of Famer back then.
All right, I'm going to do more research on Johnny Mize. This
All
guy's
right.
savage.
Well, look. I thought that was a real good show. Very entertaining. A lot of controversy as usual.
We've never spent an entire show on one topic.
Yeah, no, you're right. But this one we didn't have much going on as far as news and the free agency and all that. So this deserved it.
Joel, thank you for tuning in. Luker, thank you for the information on Mize. He served in World War II. Of course he did. Rodolfo, Brett, let's see here.
Yeah, we had the cast of characters. I mean, we had everybody in there early on. I mean, we had Linda, Nora, Kari, Heather,
Tommy, Luke, Josh.
Yeah, Joel, Emily, everybody. Josh, T. Luke,
Esposa,
Big Mike, Jason was in there. We had everybody. I mean, it says 16, but at one time we had 21 in there. So,
man.
Good show.
I appreciate the communications. If you're listening on Apple or Spotify, do us a favor. Go ahead and leave a review. 5 stars if you're feeling generous on that. If you could write a little something, it fucking matters. Thrill, I know you sent me the one a couple weeks ago that someone had written. Like, please, go to Apple, go to Spotify. Just go there right now if you could. It really helps the show. It allows us to keep going. And I don't want to say make it worth our while. I mean, I do this shit for free, but it does help with sponsorship. It helps No Filter Network. So if you guys could do that, thank you very much. And
then we're getting close to that time. All you bitches better freaking have some cookies. That's all I'm saying.
Thrill, that's so fucking good. You're right. I'll take it one step further. You bitch better have my shirt, man.
Even better.
I want one of those. It's fucking fantastic.
All right, man. That was awesome.
All right, dude. Have a great week.
Right back at you.
See ya.